yeah, there we are. Another day. Another live stream. Oh yeah. What's up, everyone? How are you doing? And to kick that off, Factor Cole. I wish you the best. Because he is in hospital having a surgery of appendix in an hour or two. Yo, Factor Cole, man, hope you are gonna do well during and after the surgery, right? Recovering. And good luck in a couple of hours. So, hope everything goes well. But hey, cheers for popping in from the hospital, though. That's dedication. Okay, welcome everyone. In today's live stream, we're going to cover a couple of things. First of all, chatting. Second, Elliott waves. Third, chatting and Q&A. Now, with regards to Elliott waves, we are going to cover mainly what's happening locally again. In the previous update, I only highlighted shortly the highest probability scenarios from an Elliott wave point of view on the 1-4 hour time frame, the daily and the weekly. But there are, of course, some ideas that I did not share in that video. And that is something I want to highlight in the live stream because I can explain stuff a little bit better. Because I have more time and you can ask questions if you don't get it or you want to discuss anything. So that is what we're going to do in the live stream. And we do have some news at 2:30 p.m., which is in about 50 minutes, actually exactly 50 minutes. So let's see if we get any sort of volatility on the chart. After the analysis, we go into chatting and Q&A, answering as many questions as I can while being here for like an hour is the plan. So let's see. Also, like a little update that I will try to start my live streams a bit earlier. Now, for the people in the US, it might be a bit more problematic, but of course I will be online still when the US wakes up. Generally, I tend to go live around 2:30, but I actually want to go live at like 1:30. And the reason is that if I start this was a trend. If I start the live streams later, it means the evening update is going to be later because you want to have a little bit of time between the live stream and the evening update. Else it's pure repetition and you don't have any new information on the chart. But that means that my evening updates are going to be online at like 11 p.m., sometimes even midnight. Of course, most of the Europeans are going to be sleeping. Asia wakes up, America is awake as well. But I should actually be in bed. So what I actually want to do is have my live streams a bit earlier, creating more time between the live stream and the evening video, put the evening video out earlier, get my ass in bed in time, wake up earlier, provide a morning update earlier. So everything then switches a little bit to the front. And the ideal scenario is that the morning update is online between like 7 to 9 a.m. The live stream starts between 1 and 2 p.m. And the evening update is online between, let's say, 7 and 8 p.m. Right? That's the ideal structure I have at the moment, which means that I can get to bed in time. I can wake up at 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning. I can do my stuff, then make the video. Yeah. And of course, if there is certain like high impact news or whatnot, generally it's at 2:30 p.m. Central European time in my time zone anyway. As you can see, it's pretty much all 2:30 p.m. We have 1:4 p.m. here, 1:8 p.m. here. I could go live in the evening, of course, if there's interesting news. That's also what the banner on the channel says, right? So it also says evening is video/live stream, generally a video, but if something special happens, it will be a live stream. But most of the time it's 2:30 p.m. And if I start earlier, we still check the news because I'll be online at like 1 or 1:30, and then by the time it's 2:30, we're still here. And then we just continue streaming and see if anything happens. So I think that structure would work a little bit better for me. It will also create a bit more consistent content to have a better like time estimation. But it's mainly important for my sleep schedule as well. I love doing very long live streams, but also if I start them earlier, I have more flexibility, I suppose. Okay, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live stream, all 88 of you. Damn, there's more and more people coming in a short amount of time. Odin, Adam, what is up? What is up? Good to have you here. Hoshi, Saraga, I'm studying for a driver license. Guys, did you pass on the first try? I did pass on the first try with my car driver's license, but I did not pass the first try with my motorbike driver license. And of course, I guess everyone that did not pass on their first try in one of those licenses probably has a great excuse of saying, yeah, the examiner was just pure bullshit, right? Or they just want to earn more money, so that's why I had to repeat my stuff. So I had no problems with my car license at all, but with my motorbike license, I actually didn't pass twice. The first time, look, in my opinion, it's ridiculous, but they probably have a good reason. The first time was because of the following. So the first time when I went up for my exam, there was a T-junction, and you had the major road here, and I went up to the line, but I had to go right. But I went up to the line, and then I did this. You know, I went right. Instead of hugging the pavement and standing here. Like, and when I finished my exam, it went pretty well. And then the guy said, oh, you didn't pass. I'm like, why didn't I pass? Oh, yeah, at the T-junction, remember, you went straight. So cars behind you didn't know if you were going to go left here or if you actually wanted to go right here. Even though I had my light on, I was flabbergasted. And the second time was after a roundabout so the second time it didn't fill or didn't pass. I was at a roundabout, right? And I came here, this was in Den Bosch for the Dutchies. And I drove around, I turned right, my indicator on, right? That's manual stuff. And I turned right, I continue straight, but then I forgot to turn my indicator off. And I'd only turned it off after the next, it wasn't a cross, it was just a side street, right? So it's just a street coming from the side, not a big cross or, you know what I mean? But just a street. And I only turned it off after because I forgot it was on. Because on a motorbike, at least on most of them, you have to manually turn it on and off. And I forgot only after the next road I turned it off. But he said it's too late. So he failed my ass. Fuck. But hey, my driver's license, no problem. I got that one. What's up, Mark? How you doing? Good to have you here as well. Maybe a band-aid. Greetings from the hospital. Yeah, Vector call, man. Good luck. Stay safe. Recover well. And eat a lot of sweets. Right? Asia gonna rule the world. Bettina, welcome. Good to have you here. Oh, by the way, everyone, we have a Bettina pattern nowadays. I'll explain more about it in a second because I'm actually gonna put it on the chart. We are good. I write you a comment in the evening on your video. Cheers, Vector Call. Let us know how it went, right? XYZ, what's up? I'm in a short trade right now, 59,830. I mean, it's if you hit this high here, that's a very nice entry. Oh wait, that's your stop loss. Is it a good trade? I don't know. Depends on your plan or strat. So you got to ask yourself first, What's my invalidation? What is my target? Why did I enter? Based on what confluences or what data? And then trade, right? If you ask this question, is it a good trade? That's mistake one is not asking the question. Mistake one is not having a plan, because you don't have a plan, else you wouldn't ask the question. If you want to be long-term, consistently profitable, you gotta have a plan. Know your TP, know your stop loss, know your invalidation, know your risk management, position size, the reason why you enter, have a plan, have data, have statistics. Takes a long time, but it will pay you in the long run. Too close to New York Open is difficult. Yeah, it is with regards to time. Koens hasn't factored in the French wine. Yeah, not yet. I don't really drink at all, Hoshi. So I mean, yeah, I guess Odin. Yeah, probably. Tobias SL Beep, how you doing, guys? We're gonna start with the analysis. Paul, I had a few crappy Fridays, so here's some useful data. 56% of Fridays over the last year ended red. 7 out of the 10 ended red, and 2 out of the last 2 ended red. Interesting. Friday, not the most bullish day. It's nice you track statistics, Paul. I love to see it, right? Shem, what's the story? That's what we're gonna discover here on the chart. 3 for the car license. Hovered between, yeah, jeez. We've been going sideways for a long time, eh? I only drive Mario Kart. Good one. What's up, Markets Mike? How you doing? Trevor, found you a week ago. Love finding the gem channels. Yo, cheers, man. Thank you. I like it's actually, like, for me, it feels very big, the channel, right? Like, I don't know how many subs we have now. I don't really keep a too close of an eye on the numbers. It's in the 13,000s somewhere at the moment, but things are growing a lot quicker than I personally expected when I started the channel on the 23rd of February in 2023, which is 1.5 years ago, almost exactly 1.5 years ago in a few days. So in 1.5 years, we're here and everything is new to me. Now, I'm not new to like entrepreneurship, but I am new to social media and content creation and that sort of stuff. So I listen as much as I can to all of you to give you the best experience. And pretty much everything you see related to the channel has been made or done thanks to your feedback. Discord channel, Telegram channel, providing probabilities at the end of the video, cleaning up my charts, showing the price levels in my fibs as well. If I actually can, like, is there one here? Showing the price levels in my fibs as well. You know, it's all on, and more like different channels, having a separate Elliott wave channel, having an Ethereum altcoin others channel in Discord, having an educational section. People asking, can I learn Elliott waves? I made the playlist on my channel. That's all based on everything I've done so far is just purely based on everything that you told me, and you gave the feedback. I try to listen, I summarize, I compartment. I don't know. I get the feedback and I try to do something with it. Tobias, welcome. Thanks for the 3, man. Celebrate the first super on a live stream. Yo, cheers. Can I like this or something? No. Yo, Tobias, thanks, man. Welcome. Thanks for the dono. Appreciate it, sir. Hope you're good. Compartmentalize, yeah, something like that. Compartmentalize, exactly. AJ, how you doing? Yo, cheers. Okay, let's start. Please stop teaching us patience. Implement the quick 60k wick for the shorts. Psychology scenarios. Okay, let's start with the analysis. Right, 20 minutes in. Nice amount of chatting. So let's start again. Tobias, by the way, cheers, man. Thanks for the dono. Very, very much appreciated. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna start on the daily, because I do have some stuff to say which is different than the usual daily stuff, and I'm gonna show you in this stream, in the analysis, I'm gonna show you 3 Bettina scenarios. Yeah, it's 20 minutes. Or not Bettina scenarios, but I'm going to show you 3 Bettina patterns. Okay. And I'll explain what a Bettina pattern is. It's a joke, by the way. It's not an official Elliott wave pattern, but it is something that I'll explain once we get there. Oh. Okay, let's start. I'll get to everything in a little bit, okay? So on the daily time frame, of course, we have a bearish and a bullish scenario, as an Elliott wave analyst always needs a bullish and a bearish scenario. Now that it is a live stream, I have a little bit more time and more opportunity to explain more and also talk about some more other scenarios. We always cover probabilities at the end, but just so you know, there will be more than 2 scenarios on some of the time frames, just because I want to talk more about them. So let me remove this. So here we have the bearish scenario. Now, as mentioned in the morning update, at the moment, based on the current price action we have locally, this is a higher probability scenario compared to a bullish scenario over here, meaning 1, 2, and up you go, right? So in other words, taking the low ones more at the moment has a higher probability on a daily compared to moving up impulsively. We'll get to the reason why on the 4-hour and the 1-hour time frame. But what we are looking for here is then a WXY, or at least a bigger corrective structure, right? And in this case, we count an impulse down in A, we look for a 3-wave B and a 5-wave C, right? So preferably your B moves up to 65 to 68K, and then you move down in your wave C. Now wave A, right, and this is going to be the nitty-gritty again, remember last time? So I'm going to be a bit more detailed in this live stream. Now, if you just want the basics, go to the video that I uploaded this morning. It's 7 minutes, I believe, in length. It gives you the highest probability weekly, daily, 4-hour and 1-hour scenario in 7 minutes. But in the stream, I will elaborate a lot more on different scenarios, and, you know, stick around if you like it, or check out the previous video if you don't. So this move to the downside, if counted a zigzag in a wave Y, has to be a 5-wave structure. It has to be an A, 3-wave B, C. Now, there's a couple of reasons why this bearish scenario in particular, a WXY, is not really ideal, so to say, right? So what do I mean with that? Let me put this on the chart, right? And let me quickly remove this. So the fibs that you see on the chart now, the 1, the 1.236, and the 1.618, these 3, that is your common target of your wave Y. Your most common target for Y is the 1 to the 1.236. We have hit it, right? We have hit it, we touched it. The 1.618 for a wave Y is very uncommon, right? Very uncommon. The last time we hit a 1.618 for a wave Y was all the way here, Friday the 10th of March, this drop. But this drop was counted as a double zigzag, and a double zigzag is a 535 correction 535. Your most common target for Y is the 1 to the 1.236, right? And the 1.618 remains uncommon, but at least in a double zigzag, there's a higher probability to extend compared to what we are looking for here, which is a sideways WXY, right? So not a double zigzag. So double zigzag, ABC, correction, ABC. You label this a WXY, right? But this, in this case, is a sideways WXY, meaning you look for a range. Generally, this range goes slightly against the trend, right? Like you see here. And you also label this a W, X, and a Y. There's just different rules for both, right? But the target is relatively similar in, like, you still, for the target of your wave Y in both cases, right? You take it from the start to the end of W to the end of X, same here in the sideways structure. But and for your double zigzag wave Y, the most common target is the 1 to the 1.236, and for your sideways wave Y, the most common target is the 0.618 to the 1.236. But in both cases, the 1.618 is not really a target that you're looking for. But the thing is that, of course, in this scenario, if we are looking for an unfinished WXY, because the structure locally looks 3-wavy, yeah, and we look in wave Y for a zigzag, we have a problem. Because now we are reaching the 1.618, which is uncommon, or even move below the 1.618. Because if you label this A, B, C, oh sorry, this is a fib. I actually wanted to use my labels. Because if we label A, B, C, your common target for C is the 1-to-1 trend-based fib extension from the start to the end of A to wherever B is ending, right? So the 1-to-1 to the 1.236, but the 1-to-1 would be your minimum. But you can see your B, if your B high is in 62.7K, your 1-to-1 is at 41.8. That's, this is very low. So preferably your B goes higher and your 1-to-1 moves up to like 45-ish K, 44K, right? We have better support in that area, and it's still reasonable for a weekly scenario bull market. But that means that this move down has to be a 5-wave structure, right? And there is a way to count that as a 5-wave structure. It's just that your wave C 1-to-1 target is pretty much always going to be below or on top of the 1.618. So there's not a nice confluence between the wave Y target area and the 1-to-1 for your wave C when we count a sideways WXY. And this is something that I spoke about that a few times, but I start to now also look for other scenarios on a daily time frame. Of course, I see WXYXZ in the chat as well. Blaster33, right? Can you have lower targets with a WXYXZ? Yes. Yes, you can. So what he is talking about, right? But it is very rare, is WXYXZ. So it's a 5-wave structure. Can you have lower targets? Yes, because you'll have W, you have an X, then you get a Y, another X, and another Z. A WXYXZ, however, is very rare. But your target for your wave Z is twofold, actually. You can take it from the start to the end of W to the end of your last one. Let me put this on the chart. Let's discover this scenario, right? Let's at least put it on the chart and discover it. So we have our W, still preferably in that case your X finishes here, not here, else it's W, X, Y, X, Z. You would have the same low, which is not ideal. We want to make a lower low now, of course. But if this is your Y, it's a very short wave Y. So maybe you have to, but you can't, let's see, this can be a regular flat. So this is going to be a little bit of live analysis, right? Again, if you want the short and sweet probabilities and content, the highest probability Elliott wave scenarios on the weekly, daily, 4-hour and 1-hour time frame, check out the video I uploaded this morning. 7 minutes, you'll have all the information you need at the moment. Now we are counting, live counting, brainstorming. So of course your wave W has the potential to be a flat. The problem, however, so ending here. So yeah, it has the potential of a flat. Now, why is that important? Because in a WXYXZ, only one structure, W, Y, or Z, is allowed to have a zigzag. You cannot have a zigzag in both a W and a Z, or WY, or YZ, and Z, right? It's only allowed in one structure. So in your wave Y here, you would then be looking for a 535. Now you look for your X and then another Z to the downside, but your Z in this case has to then be a triangle or a flat again, right? It's very complex structures. They're very rare, but yeah, your target can be lower. I just don't really enjoy thinking about a WXYXZ just yet. Now this move to the downside, the latest move that we had down since 70K, right? Can we count this as a 5-waver? Yes. We did as well. Can we count this as a 3-wave structure? Yes. Right? Yes, we can count this as a 3-wave structure as well. Right? Now this might lead to potentially a incredibly boring sideways structure, which is still a WXY. But then you have a triangle, but it's too early to talk triangles, right? And in this case, you don't take the low. A, B, C, D, E. Double zigzag, preferably WXY to higher prices, and then down, 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 right? In this case, your wave B is a complex structure. It's uncommon for B to be a complex WXY though, but still. So this is an option. The problem is it's not yet a great probability scenario because it's too early. We don't have enough info to talk triangles, right? And then another idea that I had as well, so many ideas. You can see the daily time, the 4-hour and the 1-hour time frame is a lot more clear now than the daily. But I do like to brainstorm and analyze a bit live on stream as well. Now, an alternative, again, this is very alternative, would be some sort of a ending diagonal here. Maybe like that, and that in a not a wave C, W, X, and then you have A, B, and then a wave C ending diagonal. But the local structures are not supporting this, so the daily time frame is actually, it's very easy, difficult. Probabilities are higher. This is a corrective structure, right? That's the easy part. The probabilities are lower. We are looking here for an impulsive move down in a 1, a 2, 1, 2, and a big drop in a wave 3, right? That's the easy part. Probabilities are higher. This is a corrective structure, right? The question, of course, is the low in. That's the main thing. But when we go to a 4-hour time frame, this move up looks incredibly 3-wavy. And it is too early to call potential bigger leading diagonal structures. And besides, in a leading diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, retracement continuation of the bull market, your wave 2 has to be a zigzag family pattern, which by the looks then has to be WXY, a double zigzag, but your wave X hit the 0.7 Fibonacci, which significantly lowers probabilities. This is a double zigzag, which lowers probabilities for a leading diagonal. So of course, on the 4-hour time frame, ideally your bullish scenario, your wave 1 is already in, and we count this as an impulse, right? So you need some sort of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, or alternatively 1, 2, right, 3, 4, 5, right? So those would be the two options. Now let's zoom in to this structure. Recently, I think was it yesterday or 2 days ago, I showed two charts, one from Samith and one from DV12345. And Samith, we were pretty much all looking at this structure here. And Samith had a count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5. Right? Counting this 3 to the upside here as 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, something like that. And then eventually that is the end of your 3, and then you have 4 and 5. That was idea number 1. Idea number 2 was, hey, this is simply a leading diagonal. That's your 1. This is your 2, 3, 4, 5. Very short 4, right? This one. But if we go to a 50-minute time frame, what I do think is interesting in the second scenario from SV what was it? DV 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is counting this as a 4 compared to a wave 2 here in an impulse would work a little bit better, but that's mainly because of this bump. So this is your low. Preferably, we start counting the latest impulse up from this particular low here, right? And in that case, we would then count 1, 2, okay, we got it. 3, sharp move up, makes sense. Where is our 4 and 5, right? Where's our 4 and 5? In that case, we would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so this is, if you count an A, B, C, oh. Let me be clear here. So if we count it bearish, A, B, C, then we count 1, 2, 3, sideways 4, 5. And then inside 1, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or probably 4 has to go somewhere there. And then voila. But what many people have said as well, which is absolutely true, right, is that the wave 3 on some charts is the shortest. Actually, if you do put your wave 1 here, it's always shorter. If you put your wave 1 here, then on some charts 3 is longer, and on some other charts 3 is not longer. But if we put wave 1 in blue there, and we take a trend-based fib from the low to the high of 1 to the low of 2, you can see wave 3 is shorter, right, than your wave 1. But if we take a trend-based fib from the low of 2 to the high of 3 to the end of your wave 4, you can also see wave 5 is longer, and that's not allowed. That's a hard rule, right? It's a hard rule. Wave 3 is never allowed to be the shortest. So it makes you think, okay, what is the potential of a wave 1, 2, 3, a ridiculously stupid non-ratio analysis, Elliott wave, wave 4, right? And then your 5. It like from a ratio perspective, it makes 0 sense, but there's always that one time, right, where preferably in this case also your wave 1 actually ends at the high instead of all the way here because of time. Because if we count a flat in 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then eventually 5, that is gonna be way, yeah, the 0.382 fib time is way beyond the 4 there. So preferably, let's see, what's the high? Is it this one, 3.1, or this one? So preferably, this is your 1. You have a sharp 2, common for a wave 2, no? And then this is a, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move. 4, 5. So you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. At least there is a way to end wave 4 around the 0.382, which generally is regarded minimum. Commonly wave 4 is longer than wave 2. But it at least gives this bump a place in this structure. Because how do we count this nicely as a full impulse? Yeah. because of how short wave 3 is, if we would count it as a single impulse to the upside in the ABC. Right, so there is absolutely something to say, right? That's the conclusion. There is absolutely at least something to say about the potential of this. Where you count an impulse to the upside, where you have a diagonal 1, you have your 2, and then you simply have a short wave 4. Preferably your 1 ends at the high because of time, so that your wave 4 is at least at the 3A2. And that's that in that case, right? Let's see, what's the highest volume? Literally inside your wave 4, that's special. But if we look at the impulsive structures, your wave 3 has more volume than your wave 5, right? As well as your wave 1, so at least that works. So we cannot give up on the idea of a bullish scenario. Okay, now that's a lot of nitty-gritty like type of analysis, even though it doesn't change the conclusion we had this morning, which was literally this. 1 second. At the moment, right? So 1 hour bullish, that's what we're looking for, because the probabilities are higher. This is corrective. So probabilities are higher to still take out the high at some point, or at least move up, right? 5 wave or 3 wave, I don't really care. I prefer to look here, but it is interesting to look at a daily time frame and be like, well, you know, we can end something here, but this move up does look very 3 wavy. But if you then go into the lower time frames and the details, you're like, well, counting this last move up has never been ideal as a single impulse. We can count this somewhat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 4 is incredibly short. But we have this bump in the beginning, and we got to give that bump a place. We got to give it a 4 and a 5. So yeah, that is therefore something that that we can do this way. Okay, so let's make things easy now. Instead of complex, because this was complex stuff. So let's talk about more easy things. This move towards the downside has the highest probability of being a corrective structure. And the reason is that in a more bearish scenario, 1, 2, looking for a 3. Your wave 2, first of all, is a running flat here. Very rare, never preferred, unless everything else fails. Wave B went to the 1.618 for wave B in a flat, very rare. And your wave 2 is 8 times longer than your wave 1. It's not ideal. Second option would be 1, 2, continuation. The problem is your wave 4 is very short compared to 2. So it doesn't have high probabilities, which increases probabilities for corrective structures. And in the morning, I shortly explained why the probabilities here would be higher for a WXY, which is a double combo structure, a sideways structure. Starting with a zigzag, you get an X and you look for a move down. A flat is not valid because we didn't touch the 0.9 for an A, B, C. A triangle is not valid because A, B, C, D, E. C went below A. That's not allowed. A zigzag doesn't work. ABC continuation up. We didn't. We took the low again. A double zigzag WXY has lower probabilities because we touched the 0.7, which brings us to a sideways WXY, a double 3. WX and then a wave Y, where your wave X can be any corrective structure. WXYs is your typical pain in the ass range, but it's the general consensus, the general perspective of, hey, probabilities are higher, this is corrective. it gives you a directional bias to look for interesting moves towards the upside when you start to hit some levels of interest below. Right, so we had a daily naked point of control here, which failed to hold because we moved below. We had some interesting support below us, and preferably your wave Y ends somewhere, right, between 56.7 and 53.5. Yeah, preferably. and then you continue towards the upside. Of course, invalidation quite simply is the low, and yeah. That is currently your highest probability on a 1 hour scenario, simply because the impulsive structures have low probabilities. So it leaves the corrective structures with currently a WXY being the higher probability. Wave X can indeed still be a flat, absolutely correct. I had it somewhere. Oh, I got to clean up. I got to clean up my folders. That's very old stuff. Not sure if I. Oh, wait, it's part of this scenario. I think I removed it. Yes, your wave X can still be a flat. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a wave C. Finish X, move down in a wave Y. Yes, W, X, Y. But it still leads, I wanted to keep it simple in the morning. It still leads to just ranging, right? Even a flat here, A, B, C, and then down. Is you still expect a wave Y. So currently at WXY, your highest probability scenario in the 1 hour, increasing the probabilities to still move up. Now the next move up will give us clarity on what this is. Is this an ABC or is this an impulse to the upside? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We will wait and we will see, right? Yeah, important resistances start pretty much at 65K. So the 1 hour is quite clear, right? We don't necessarily have to count every substructure, but the bearish scenarios simply have lower probabilities, and it is difficult to count a finished corrective structure here. If we are looking for example, this is your end, and you look for an impulse down, how can you end a corrective structure here, right? You would need to have a W, X, and then a Y sideways, which means W is a zigzag, wave Y has to be a triangle or a flat, so this needs to be some sort of a flat. It's definitely not a triangle, but it's not great probabilities. So probabilities are higher. We are at least still looking for a move towards the upside to come, and the main area of support is this area here with a nice box at 55 and a final support at 52, 53. Yeah, that's the 1 hour. The 1 hour is clear. And on the weekly time frame, like the 1 hour and the weekly arguably are your most clear time frames at the moment. On the weekly, probabilities remain higher for the bullish scenario. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what is attractive here is that if you do make another low, or at least end the corrective structure after the vertical line, your wave 4 is longer in time than your wave 2, which is most common for wave 4. So that would tick the box if you do take the low on a daily time frame still. Right. So yeah. Yeah. So of course the daily time frame, like I can make it very easy. If we end something here, we want to see at least 63K taken. If this is 3 waves, we would look for a leading diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The problem with your leading diagonal is your wave 2, which doesn't look like a zigzag nor a double zigzag probability-wise. So preferably for the bulls, this is an impulse up, as explained earlier. 1, 2, 3, very short 4, and a 5 on the lower time frame. And what you are working now is a wave 2. Right? So you create a 1, 2, potentially another 1, 65 to 68K. Look for another 2, hold the low, and move up. Right? You expect a wave 3. That is your bullish scenario. No, it's very easy, very clear, very clear. Your bearish scenario is that this move up is a three-wave structure. We preferably still create a bit of a bigger three-wave structure in a WXY or an ABC, it doesn't matter, but a three-wave move, preferably take out the high one more time, 63K. Currently, the minimum target for a move to the upside with the low that we made here is, out of my head, 64.1K, 64.6K. Of course, the lower the low, the lower that minimum target. But after then a three-waver, you look for another move towards the downside and to take out this low. Now that move towards the downside, yeah, you're going to be looking for A, B, C in a bigger W, X, and a Y. One more low, mid 45s, and then you move. Right, then you start your impulse up. Yeah, I'm not a fan of any diagonals here because of the very low time frame structure we have going on at the moment. So yeah, that's it. It's just this structure. So probabilities, right? Probabilities, skipping the daily, but on the weekly remains higher for the bulls. Right, probabilities remain much higher. This is corrective, guys, not impulsive. From an Elliott wave point of view, very corrective sideways price action. It also channels very well. Right, so much higher probabilities. You're in a corrective structure. And on the weekly time frame, probabilities remain higher to look for all-time highs as long as you don't break 38.5. On the 1 hour time frame, the probabilities remain higher to still take out this high, and as a bare minimum, look at least for a move towards the upside. 64.6 is a minimum target. The lower the low of X becomes, the lower your minimum target for a wave Y becomes. Of course, if we look for 1, 2, 3, we just fly. But probabilities are higher. You still take out this high. And on the 1 hour time frame, we are quite simply looking for a WXY before continuation towards the upside, a WXY to finish. And we can put a lot of effort and time in counting this, right? But I kind of like started to lose interest in counting this in a lot of detail, right? We can count a zigzag in here, yes. I can count a flat in here, A, B, and then a wave C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flat, preferably you take out the high at 61.8. Preferably you then hit the daily naked point of control at 61.3. Or, that would be even nicer, 63.1 to create an expanding flat in your wave X. A, B, move up for C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Side note, weekend is coming up. If we do move up in a wave 3, be it before the weekend. We don't like that price action during the weekend. It's rare during the weekend to start wave 3s. So if we get any moves, hopefully before the weekend. Reject, weekend range, and then move down in your wave Y. So that is one structure where we're looking at. But I kind of lost interest to try and count this in a lot of detail. And what I prefer to do is keep an eye on CVD. So because that will give me a much better idea of probabilities of moving up. So we do have bullish CVD divergences on a 1 hour time frame. Let me zoom out here. Right, we have the bullish divs on a 1 hour time frame. Now what we like to see, the green line by the way, right, is of course bullish CVD divergences on the local time frame. Right, as price moves up consistently, we want to see bull, 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 bull. We had a little bit of bullish CVD divergence, that's nice, but then immediately after you get the bearish CVD divs, not nice, right? That's not what you're looking for. You want to see higher highs, higher lows, high, and then you get bearish divs immediately after. So we definitely look for some more signs of strength locally. But that is something that I like to see. So what I'm pretty much looking for is preferably price hits some nice area of support. The bounce here, I didn't really have anything in particular at this low. We had a daily naked point of control at, I don't know, 57.1 or somewhere here, but it failed. And my next box is below. So I would really enjoy seeing price move down to 55, or at a bare minimum, create a structure up either here or either here with bullish CVD divergences consistently building to increase my confidence and probabilities to start moving. Or are we still in a WXY? Right. Now, if this is a W, we can be a little bit nitty-gritty at least. So if this would be your W and we would somehow finish an X here, in a sideways double combo, wave Y is not allowed to be a zigzag. It has to be a flat or a triangle, which means that if this is your X, for a triangle, we're looking for A, B, C, D, E, right? Now, that would be a hilarious weekend range possibility. Or a flat, but the problem is that a flat is too long now, and this, of course, this is not a flat. You would need A, B, C. So that is why you're either looking for the triangle, which is a bit early to call, or your wave X is going to move to the future, and this is A, B, you look for a C flat, and then you get your wave Y. And just because price bounced here in a little bit of like the middle of nothing, I wouldn't mind seeing an extended W, X, wherever, and then a Y hit support, or just move down directly. Yeah, so it's a lot of chat. I'm also curious to see what you guys think, and a couple of Bettina patterns in there as well. Let me talk, by the way, about a Bettina pattern. And the Bettina pattern is in gold, in the gold Elliott waves channel, is a diagonal, because Bettina absolutely loves diagonals, and she sees diagonals everywhere. Now, the good thing is she is able to trade it very nicely, so props. But that is why we you know, it's a little bit of a Bettina pattern nowadays. So I'll put a Bettina on my chart here. So at least something I keep in mind is the potential, at least, of some sort of a diagonal down. That would be bearish, too early to call, but it's something I put in silver this morning, or in gold, just saying, hey, I at least have it in mind, but it's not yet a high probability. So probabilities on the weekly remain higher for the bulls. Probability on the 1 hour time frame remain higher. We are in a sideways corrective WXY structure, looking for price to still move up, take out the high. And on a 4 hour time frame, yeah, if you do get that move up, it depends on the move to the upside. But at the moment, arguably, this just looks very three wavy, which would be bearish. But you know, to take the low, so gotta be a bit patient on the daily and the 4 hour. But for the bulls, it is not. It's not an ideal start of an impulse, right? If you are bullish and this is your low, right? What we actually want to see is a 1, 2, right? A bigger 1, bigger 2, and then a bigger 3, and then a 4 and a 5, right? A very clear impulsive structure. That's what we actually would like to see, right? Instead of a structure where everyone is doubting about what the fuck is this, right? Are we looking at a 3 waver? Are we looking at a 5 waver? We got to go to the nitty gritty for like 50-minute time frame. Oh, this can be a wave 2, and then we can put a bit of a wave 4 in here, but it's incredibly short. And, you know, like, that's actually not stuff that you really like to do when you are bullish, right? When you are bullish, you actually just want to have a nice impulsive structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was a wave C, by the way, but this is what an impulse looks like, right? yes, you have a bit of a messy start and but then boom, right? And then you get your 4s and your 5s. Where is it? Right? 1, 2, 3, and then what? Right? So that is why in the morning update, my probabilities on the 4-hour and the daily are bearish, because as long as I don't see strong impulsive continuation or some sort of an impulse, it's actually very difficult to be bullish on a 4-hour or a daily time frame. On the weekly, nothing changed. On the 1 hour, nothing really changed, right? We're looking for corrective structures. But on a 4-hour and a daily, arguably your probabilities are higher to take out the high just because of this. Unless the chart shows us, right, if the 1 hour actually moves above 63 with a solid impulsive structure, then we can talk, right? Then the probabilities can change in the direction of the bulls. But yeah, Bitcoin dumping as Koen wishes it to 55. Yeah, I'm taking the power of my wifey Oracle. So yeah, that's I think context, right? That's just important context. If you're looking for an impulse, preferably you look for a nice 5-wave move. Now they're never textbook. You'll never see waves that are like absolutely textbook. But oh boy, is this an ugly impulse if it is one. So we undoubtedly have a lot to discuss, and there's a lot more things that I can talk about as well. With regards to scenarios and nitty-gritty stuff and going into difficult structures, but I think we should stick with the time frames that are more clear, right? That's even a recommendation by Elliott Wave International, by the way, that if on a certain time frame you don't really have a lot of clarity, zoom out or zoom in to time frames that will provide you clarity, and those are the ones that you can trade. So okay, let's answer some questions, and then probably by answering questions we'll get to more Elliott Wave analysis and more structures. At the beginning of the analysis, I more just shared a couple of thoughts on a daily time frame about the, I suppose, ugliness of some of the structures. Now it's very clear it looks more like a corrective structure, but WXYs are always difficult, which makes it interesting. It's like a puzzle. Yo, Sibel, how you doing? Sibel is an AI DJ. Yo, Samith, how you doing, man? Bitcoin falling off a cliff. You mean this move here? Do you live in the Netherlands? I'm not sure if everyone gets it. Maybe. Let me have a look here. Where were we? Yeah, Jeroen. I think Jeroen was doing something with his family today. Koens, do you only FIB tools you use? FIB levels based on log scale. On the FIB tools, yes. Even if I use the linear chart, I always have my fibs on log, because on the lower time frames, on the linear chart, it doesn't matter. It's literally a few dollars difference. But every time you go to a weekly or monthly time frame, you want to use log, and I don't have to then change my fibs all the time. I just save myself some hassle. And it works perfectly fine to put them on log on a linear chart. And even when you have a linear chart turned on, the log setting doesn't work. So Bettina wave scene. W in June and the X is coming. B channel. The W. Oh, sorry. Scratch my mic there. The W in June and the X is coming. Yeah, so in that, so the issue is you can't really end a corrective structure, a first move at this low, because this counts by far best as an impulse structure. You can even just see it on the daily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can even see a double 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. It's like textbook impulse. It counts best as an impulsive structure, but then you're not allowed to take the low. So we can't end W here. We need to end W somewhere else. So we either have to end it here, or we have to end it somewhere here to then get our X. I'm thinking about something which is absolutely ridiculous. It's way too early. It's way too early. No, that doesn't make sense, man. Like A, B, C, D, E. Da, 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 boom. No, that would be nuts, but it's too early. It's too early. So from a psychology point of view, the psychology scenarios have been very nice on a daily time frame. Remember, we were talking here as price moved up, we want to see a high retracement and the lows taken just for the sake of psychology. People thinking the bull market continues, and then you wreck them all by going down. That was nice. Now we have three very high retracements: 1, 2, and 3. From a psychology perspective, especially with the last move down, I would assume there's quite some fear in the market, because we keep creating low, high, lower, low, lower, high, and ta-ta-ta. And now you're a little bit in limbo. So yeah, we had a move up. Is it high enough to fake people out? Continuation of the bull market. What's the fear? What's the number? 27. 27 is not low. Where is that? 17. When was this? 6th of August. Exactly. That's what I like to see. 6th of August, 17. Oh, 17 is still high, man. When was this? 22nd of June, 2022. Oh, that was here at this low. That was the last time we that was really low. So from a fear, I've never built statistics about fear and greed index and the low and the high, but of course, generally, if you do have fear that low, it's at least probably a bounce, I can imagine. So the lowest point we got to is 17. Now we have been in the area of 17 quite a lot from 2018, but we definitely still have the opportunity to go down even further. And I do realize that on the index chart, we didn't yet touch this range. On my chart, the Coinbase chart, we did. Pretty much to the dollar. $50 difference on a weekly, daily time frame, not bad. But on index, we actually missed out on hitting this structure. So how about coming down once more? But I first went up, actually. Bait people again. Just create another bait. Continue all-time high, right? Like, create an ABC or a WXY, end on a high amount of volume, mimicking a wave 3 or a wave, like continuation. But then this move up is either a wave Y or a wave C to end. Again, a lower high. Again, move down. People be talking, oh yeah, whatever, bear market. Selling my stack 15k, here we come, la 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 la, boom. Fear and greed level index below 10. 45k support. What do we have here? 44, 46. Value area. 43 is also still good support, actually, around 40, 43. Now that would, of course, that would be quite a hammer in the trust of or the psychology, I can imagine. Especially the fact that I remember. So first of all, you should respect everyone's form of analysis. And the person I'm going to be talking about has been incredibly successful and created a incredible model that many people have profited from in the past, right? But I do know that a very big following is interesting from a psychology point of view. So Plan B, which is an amazing guy, he's Dutch as well, incredible model, of course. I remember that somewhere here he said, I don't think we'll ever see below 64k again. Or it was here, I don't know, somewhere up here. But of course, he has such a big following, which is almost like a representation of the retail market. Moving back down here is very interesting. Now, he has a YouTube channel. He uploads once a month, I believe. He does a great job, but it's interesting, like moving below those type of levels, 64, boom, here we are, 49. And now we are here at 57, boom, 45. You know what I mean? Like, we have to think about some interesting scenarios on a daily. I'm just blabbing, but I'm thinking at the same time. Hello, why don't you look at the move down from 74k as a leading? Oops, hey, we have Vladimir Kim. Hello, good sir. I posted a screenshot on General Tech. Can you take a look? I will take a look, Vladimir, but I will take a look after the live stream. I actually have to go soon as well. It's past an hour 50 minutes, but I just want to reply to everyone quick, and I'll make sure to check out your message in general chat. Of course, by the way, you don't have to donate for me to watch or see your screenshot. The only thing you have to do in Discord is just tag me, and then whenever I have time, I'll take a look. Of course, if people are in gold, that's always just priority. I'm most active there, but just tag me somewhere, and I always try to do my best to answer as quick as possible. Never need to donate, but hey, we do very much appreciate it, Sir Vladimir Kim. So thank you for the dono. Thank you for the dono. Your work is incredible. It's rare to find such capacity and patience to teach us things. It's a pleasure, Yebalanana Sam. Tried my best there. Yebama, Jebalanasam Yubinson. I think I'm gonna call you different. Can I call you just Yubi? It's a lot easier. Yubi. I appreciate it, Yubi. It's a pleasure. Elliott wave theory is difficult, and as you saw at the beginning of the analysis, right, there's a lot of different things that you can think about, but after going in a lot of detail and talk about difficult stuff, it's nice to zoom out and go to the time frames that are clear, and those are the ones that eventually we want to trade. Start an Elliott wave count from the 2070 market low, wave 5, top 73. Take a look. The 2 week. wave 5 top is 73k. Potentially, yeah. So I do have a playlist on YouTube with the macro count or macro counts. But as I explained yesterday, I summarized every single macro count that you have on the monthly in about 5 minutes in the live stream yesterday. Because the problem with the macro count is that you like right. This is literally the chart, and there's so many different counts that you see online. For me, the reason I stopped counting the monthly is because it doesn't make any sense. There is scenarios where people count this 1 2 1 2 1 2, another 1 2, and then 3 4 blah, 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 yeah. You have people that count 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, bear market, continuation. You have people that count this as a 1 2 3 4, and then 1 2 3 4 5, and then look for a retracement down, and more. And it really doesn't help. It's much better to look at the weekly and the daily time frame than try counting the monthly. It doesn't add any value, really. There's too much. The Fibonacci extensions and the retracements on a monthly time frame don't really work that nicely because the time frame is so high. I think I pretty much summarized 90% of the monthly counts that you find online, but it's much more valuable to stay on a weekly time frame and on a daily, really. So this answer is yes. I put them on log. Could lower targets fit better in a WXYXZ? That answer was answered with yes earlier. Of course, very rare corrective structure, but it's possible. 0816 breaking news. Rumor that Elliott Waves Brotherhood will add Bettina Waves soon. Exactly. Sibel back from holiday. Okay. Time to get back into trading. After a holiday, always take it slow, right? Once you get back in the markets, build your way up to your usual volume and position size. Hello, why don't you look at the move down from as a leading diagonal, which means we are now correcting wave 2, might just nuke down. Because if this is a diagonal, it's an expanding diagonal, and an expanding diagonal is always rare, never preferred, unless all the other scenarios fail, which means every other bullish scenario has to fail first. So the general rule of thumb, any expanding structures, expanding triangle, expanding diagonal, is very rare, never preferred, unless any other scenario fails, which isn't the case. So the only way to count as a diagonal is an expanding diagonal, but I don't have interest in counting it unless everything else fails. Following your analysis, I can see this isn't straightforward pricing to map. Ranges are always the most interesting. Those are the most fun to count, honestly, because it's the puzzle. The impulses are easy, you just go up or you go down. But the ranges are interesting. But it's how much detail do you want? So as explained on a weekly time frame, the probabilities are clear. On a 1 hour time frame, we have a good idea of what we are looking for. On the daily, yes, we can count a low in here and the potential of an impulse, which depends on the 1 hour and 4 hour time frame. So the 1 hour and the weekly at the moment are actually quite interesting. And then on some other time frames, price action might not be very clear. You have to wait for 1 hour clarity, right, to get more 4 hour clarity, to get more daily clarity. But the 1 hour is, we have high probabilities on a 1 hour. We have high probabilities on a weekly, right? We know what we're looking for. But on some other time frames, you might not have the clearer structure. So you got to find the clear time frames. And sometimes all of them are very easy. Rarely ever are they all very complex. But like my morning video was like, the previous update was like a summary of the highest probability scenarios at the moment. And of course, by the end of next week, we'll have probably, we have more information, different scenarios. But Yeah, corrections are a complex part, but that's also where the fun is of Elliott waves. The fun is counting these structures and coming up with the plans. Now you can make it very easy, right? So as explained, I don't have to count this in a lot of detail to know that the probabilities are higher. This is corrective. I don't need to know if this is WXY finished, if this is ABC finished, if this is an unfinished WXY XZ or an unfinished WXY, or I don't have to know that detail. But the probabilities are higher. This is corrective. Because the probabilities are lower, it's impulsive. And that is because of the 886 retracement that we had over here, first of all. So just because of like that, like if you cannot count a good impulsive move down, probabilities are automatically higher. This is corrective. And you don't even need to know the correction. So what you sometimes see me do to make Elliott waves very beginner friendly, right, is I do this. The only reason I do this is so that people can easily follow what happens on a chart. So in other words, right, so bullish scenarios are the easiest. So if you are new to Elliott waves and you start a range on whatever time frame, right, you get a bounce on whatever time frame, you get a move up, count this move up and try to see if you can count this as an impulse, diagonal, or double 1-2. If not, look for a corrective structure, but you don't even have to know what structure, right? Because if you cannot count the move towards the upside as an impulsive structure, the probabilities are highest, you take the low. So the moment this fails, probabilities increase to move down. So your directional bias is downside. The moment you can count an impulsive structure to the upside, right, your directional bias is going to switch to price moving up, or at least continuing a range and wait for more information. So this is most difficult to count. This is easiest to count. So if you're new to Elliott waves, start with trying to find if price is finding support somewhere. Try to count, doesn't matter the time frame, 15, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily. Try to count an impulsive structure, a diagonal or a double 1-2. And if you cannot, or it's too early to count diagonals, you don't have enough info, probabilities are higher, you're looking at a corrective structure, which creates your bias that you can use for trading. You don't have to know the corrective structure, right? You don't have to know exactly what you're looking for. You just know the probabilities, right? Makes life simple in Elliott waves. Maybe one of diagonal, yes, but the diagonal is too early to call here. You only have a wave 1, that's the problem. And wave 2 has to be a zigzag family structure, and at the moment, it's not great for a double zigzag. It's not invalidated, but I did this during the analysis. ABC, yeah, and ABC is a possibility here to the upside. One more leg down, then bounce 1 hour structure. 335, that would be a flat. Corrective structure in the current move. Yeah, on the lower time frames. X can still be a flat, that's correct. What will your prediction? Is Bitcoin going down or up? I always love these questions. Depends on the time frame. Depends on your time frame. Samuel, how you doing? If we suspect a triangle, say we're completing B, is there any way to assess the probability for the target of C? Yes, the most common target for every wave in a triangle, unless B is a running triangle, is the golden pocket 786. If you want to be a bit more flexible, the 05 to the 786. A diagonal in Y would be nice, because everyone expects the low 40, and also time-wise a diagonal would fit up to get the time. Yeah, so a diagonal would be then a wave C in an A, B, and then wave C being a diagonal. But also here, if we look for a wave C diagonal, it's way too early. It's too early to really look for diagonals. It's gonna load, boom. What if the bull market is over? Nobody expects it. Always be prepared, but the probabilities are not yet on your side. Right? So from a trading perspective, it's no problem. If price would now tank to the downside, right, it's no problem. Your probabilities, of course, change if you take 38.5 for bear market stuff. But you should already either be in shorts or based on local structures here, managed your spot and whatnot by the time you even get that move down, right? So as an example, what example am I gonna, I'll probably just go to the classic. So here you have the COVID low, in my opinion, a wave 2. And price moved towards the downside, right? You look at this structure, right? It's a very clear sharp move up, right? We're looking for an impulse. You get a corrective structure down. Now, was this move expected or not? Now, clearly not by the world, but from an Elliott wave point of view, right? These lows here had a higher probability of being taken once more. Right? So before you get, what was this dump? And that had to do, by the way, with this move towards the upside being a high probability corrective structure. Now this was a, what are we talking? Like 60% move to the downside. Now people can talk about, oh shit, bear market. But I'm not, not surprised, are we? Like, so you should already be prepared with regards to risk management, short positions, knowing your probabilities, know where probabilities change. But even if the probabilities would be bullish here and you're looking for an impulse, right? Seeing structures down here, bearish CVD divergences, impulsive moves, right? Like you got to be part of, or at least you got to manage it well, right? So this was a very nice 3-wave, wave 2, and then we moved into bull market. So yeah, if you do move towards the downside all the way, I mean, even here locally, right, you should have a plan already. You should track the waves, look if it's 3-wavy or impulsive. If your probabilities are higher, we're looking for a 3-waver and another move down, trade accordingly. If you're trading the markets, or if you're changing market structure and move above 70, right, okay, probabilities might increase again for upside, but you need a plan. You need a plan. Is this Aaron again? I'll be down there. Aaron, man. Aaron, you're going to give me a headache with administration now. It's too. Everyone that got gifted, fill in the form that one of the mods will post in chat, and I will bump you up to the silver membership, which is short-term updates. You can thank Aaron. I'm not sure Aaron, it's the third time 10. It's insane. Ahmed, Tim, Ekaterina, Eddie, Tavin, Mehdi the Baddie, For Your Door and More. Funny name. Ackerman, Michael Medina, Mark J. Aqua, Viva, Jimmy Hoffa. Send or fill in the form that... Any mods? Anyone still here? One second, I'm gonna get the link myself here because I'm such a... Oh, wait, I need to also put it in the other channel. Okay, yeah, I see. Thank you, maybe a Band-Aid. I was also looking for it. Oh, man. Sharing the P&L. Oh, that's what you're doing. Nice. Congrats on the profit, and thanks for sharing some profit with the community, because in the end, what you do is, of course, you support the channel, but more importantly, you support people in the community as well. So you can fill in the form, everyone, and we will bump you up to silver. right? Which is short-term updates. Aaron, man, thanks for the support and the gifts. That is 40 very happy people in the past weeks. Actually, 30 in the past 2 days. No. Make sure to also enjoy your profits by going for dinner and having a beer, and I don't know, take the wifey out if you have one or whatnot. But thanks for supporting the community, man. That's really cool. That's really cool. One day I'll be gifted. I know, right? And I know I gotta get through things a little bit quicker here. Did you listen to the songs? The first email, yes. Second email is still in my unread. Man, I'm so. It's not. How can we call it? It's not a form of. It's like. I guess my priorities haven't yet been there, but you remind me every time I see your name, so I just got to get to it. Jack, how are you doing? Bitcoin will go up to 100K from my point of view. It's more likely to go to 40K first. Bitcoin is weak. It's at least not showing a lot of strength, and the first move up looks very three-wavy. So lately I have been in that 90%. Hopefully you're going to get back to the 10%. Correct, Itarek. You can't, any asset can't be called expensive nor cheap. So that's not how trading and investing works. Breakdown. Thanks for the gold, and RKRK. Thanks for being gold, man. Welcome to the gold team, man. What's up, Mirovsky? What if a whole wave 4 is an expanding triangle? Very rare, never preferred, unless everything else fails. This needs above 200 likes now. Yo, Emmanuel. I saw your message. Got to answer. But Emmanuel, thanks for being here, man. And good to see you around. Still around after such a long time. Ahmed Hussain. No need to count this expanding diagonal. Yeah, exactly. Press the. Yo, Mike, how you doing? What's up? All the OGs popping in? Oh, from my Dutch bro. Yo, what's up, Mike, man? Great to see you around. Rudy popping in as well during the Friday. Ring a bell with anyone. Your human brain is fascinating. I agree. I mean, I was a medical student. I love the brain. Chat. And here we are. We're going to wave 3. Well, if you want to be conservative, wave 5. And then if it becomes a wave 3, that's perfectly fine. But let's be conservative and think about a wave 5 first. From an Elliott wave point of view to the upside, that is, on a weekly time frame. Listen live. I'm already online again for 1.5 hours. Thanks to you, P&L is enough to cover all. Don't want to jinx it though. You better watch out. Yeah, don't jinx it. Also, as much as I appreciate the message, you have traded based on your plan, your analysis, your strategy, your profit. So you should be proud of yourself for winning, right? For making bank, making profits, and yeah. I don't provide, of course, any signals, financial advice, and whatnot, but I'm happy to see you do well with your plan, your strat, and you wish to support the channel and the community with some of that. Christian, welcome. Good to have you here. Kunz's brain is fascinating. What are we talking about? Did you do the 15-minute analysis? The 1 hour, yes. I didn't really go into the 15-minute time frame. It's... you have the potential here for the diagonal 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 continuation to the upside, but that's in general. On the 1 hour, we are still looking for price to move up. In a WXY, that is what we did talk about. There's absolutely the potential for zigzag A, B, C, flat, preferably moving above 62K. then weaken range, and then move down in your wave Y. If you don't make it all the way like to 63 wave Y, because W is a zigzag, your wave Y has to be a flat or a triangle, most commonly a flat. So if X is turning into a flat, A, B, C, it's no problem for Y to be a flat because Y is mainly related to W. If wave C does not go that high, you can still get A, B, take out the highs, and then move down in C, take out the lows, shock everyone with, oh shit, we're going down, 40s are coming, and then you go back up, you know what I mean? But you do want to see some signs of strength locally, of course. Isn't there a speech tonight? I actually don't know. 68K before it's going down again. 68K is very specific. Probabilities are higher to take out this high still, and then you got to take it from there. The next area of resistance would be really 65, and then you take it level by level. And how low can it go today? I don't know how low it can go today or how high it can go today. I only know the probabilities from an Elliott wave point of view on different time frames. So no one knows how low it can go. Can go very low, can also go very high. So if you're looking for a flat, you're looking for 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, you know, and move towards the upside. So 1, 2, low, and then 3. But in general, as mentioned, this is the area of interest. So those type of questions are, of course, not really, you can't answer. How low can it go today? I don't know. We'll see on Saturday how low Friday went. Wave 2 retraced 38. Doesn't wave 4 have to retrace 50, 61? That meaning 42, 46. Wave 4 has a higher probability. So when you look at percentages, right, the data, if wave 2 is shallow, wave 4 has a higher probability of being deep. At least that's if you follow the rule of alternation. If you look, however, at the statistics of Swanel in Discord, 1 second, I'll get it. So I recommend to download these two. And if you look at the statistics, you will find that if wave 2 is a complex or just a sideways structure, doesn't have to be complex, but a sideways structure, not deep, but sideways, wave 4 still has over 70% chance to also be a sideways structure. So we don't have to go down to a 0.5, and especially not the 618, because that would pretty much invalidate any continuation. Nelly, who's the guy? Nelly, like an Elliott wave trader called, like very, very famous. I think he's one of the coaches or trainers, I believe, in at Elliott Wave International as well. I forgot his name, but something Nelly, I believe. He also says that he has never seen a wave 4 go to a 618. I fully agree. Do you think about diff AGR for subscribers? Yes, but there will be a new level for that. If I would, so I'm actually, cool question, because I've literally been working on it this morning. Yes, but not existing. So it's another level. And then yeah, so that's stuff to come. With for the CVD template, yeah, and it's likely then just gonna be it's just gonna be a one-time like payment, what most people request. But the thing is, I don't have a website yet, so I can't just have a web shop and then be like CVD Bitcoin AGR and then ta-da. So I have to put it in the membership, but then people can just become a member, get access to not only the template, but also silver and gold. So I want to give them more, but the template itself is worth it already. It's just that this is pretty much the only way I can do it. And then people can also just cancel it again after a month or even earlier. That's no problem. And then it still runs till the end of the month. And they continue to have access to future updates of the template, or they scale down to gold, silver if they enjoy it for that month. It's up to them. But at least that would be the way to go now. And once I have a website, I can move things around or change things. But this would be the way to go now. On Monday, I have a second meeting with the website, the company that's going to build my website, and they are going to propose the plan to me. So we had a first meeting. I told everything that I want and that I need, and they made a presentation, and they will present it to me. What do you mean, Mr. Brownbuck? You mean the website, or you mean when you have details? The website. I don't know yet, but I don't know how they code in different languages, and it's a big company, but it's a company that does everything in marketing, including websites. Like they're very well known in the Netherlands. Happy Horizon, Mr. Brownbug. You can check them out. So Happy Horizon is the company, and I know people in that company for many years already, and you can check it out. Choose wisely from perspective of SEO. Yes, they also have the SEO experts there. It needs to be optimized, absolutely. Just needs to be optimized. So, Mr. Brownbug, weren't you in drop shipping? No, I'm not signing anything blindly. It's a well-respected name. They have won many prizes. It's an incredible company, and those are people and teams that I know as well. So I know 2 marketing people there. I work with one, and now I'll work with the website team in there as well. So it's all in-house there. What price invalidates the main bullish scenario? On the weekly time frame, 37.7k. On a 4-hour time frame, taking the low at 49k. And on a 1-hour time frame, pretty much also taking the low at 49k. So you have enough space. But locally here, the potential for a flat is very interesting. But in general, on the 1 hour, we're still just looking for price to move up. That's the highest probability on the 1 hour we're looking for a sideways double combo, and then look for price to still take out the high. Glen Neely, is it that one? Might be, yeah, might be. I think gotta check I don't know if Elliott Wave International actually has their coaches on the website, but I meant thanks to your educational videos in the channel. I just figured out I had no idea about Elliott Wave before. People should watch them; they're priceless. Cheers, Aaron. Nice to hear, Aaron, that you've been through that content as well. It's there for a reason. It's there for people to enjoy and to hopefully learn something, which you've clearly done. And I'm happy to see your success, and nice to see you give back a bit to the community as well. So thank you, Aaron. It's difficult to show my appreciation to doing these type of things, because of course for the community it's really nice, right? Like people get gifted, they get bumped up to silver, have the opportunity to experience some stuff, but it's very nice, man. Very, very nice. Of course, the only thing I can always say is thank you talking to a webcam, but I'll buy you a beer. Come to the south of France, or I'll come there. We have a platform for web shops like Shopify with 10,000 web shops in Hungary. Holy shit. But of course, wait, Mr. Brownbug, in Discord, you gave me your LinkedIn. I added you recently on LinkedIn. I'm actually not sure if we are linked because I haven't opened LinkedIn after. But that's fascinating because, of course, I saw your messages in Discord a little later than I maybe wanted to. But very, very impressive. I was on holiday. Today we come home. Oh yeah, please don't be in a hurry to reply. If if you see how long it took me to reply, what, it's been like 2 weeks? I don't even know. Maybe even more. Fuck. Sometimes I read a message, but I can't yet reply, and then I forget about it, and then later I check my message. I'm oh shit. Why are we beaming up? Elliott wave probability. We have higher probability still to move up. So I want Elliott wave probabilities, yes. But why are we beaming up? Some nice bullish CVDs. Oh, we had some, 1 second here. This is what you love to see, no? Higher low in price, lower low on the CVD. But yeah, quick push up at least. Look at the 3-minute candle. That's quite a big one. Still aware of the potential flat, but yeah, it's good. How much? How deep is the retracement? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we do take this, it's only a 382 retracement though. So I won't be surprised. Like, of course you can continue, but I won't be surprised if this becomes a bigger flat and then a move. I will see. But by all means, it doesn't change the 1 hour. I don't really feel like counting 15-minute and stuff now, because the 1 hour is a time frame that is pretty clear. It's easiest to make plans around the 1 hour time frame at the moment instead of others. So yo, cheers, Mr. Brownback. Thanks, man. Thank you. Okay, I see. Yeah, I see. Yeah, emails generally work best. I'll be in Hellfest next summer. I think it's the north of France. Hellfest. In Clisson. Oh wow, it's all the way northwest, northeast. Yeah, northwest. Yeah, that's a little bit of a distance still. Oh well, we never know. We never know what happens between now and Hellfest. What do you want? What to do if you want to be in a trade, but the trend is far away from invalidation? Do you just make a smaller trade? Well, there's two things. One is you are going to build a position, right? So imagine you have a big trend, right? And price is ranging. And the first thing you can do is you can build a position, right? Which means you have an incredibly long stop loss, but you expect continuation of the trend. So, of course, be sensible. You risk like, I don't know, like maybe your standard amount of risk is 1, 2, or 3%. Generally, I don't really recommend to go above. So your first position might be with a 30%, 0.30% risk. And as price is moving in your favor and lower time frame probabilities start to increase for upside, you can move your stop up and add to your position, right? That is one way of coping with a very long invalidation. So you build a position, you start small, but the moment you get more local confirmation, you're going to add to your position, and your stop loss is going to move to the upside, to the newer invalidations more locally. Now, a second thing, and this is my favorite, is using additional areas of support and resistance on the chart, right? That will give me a focus. So, of course, when you look for wave B, ABC, or WXY, or 1, 2, 3, pretty much your target is 382, 886, right? Which, of course, is a very big target area. But in this target area, I have areas of additional support, right? Those are the boxes. Remember, as price moved up, we moved down. I had an area of resistance here as well. I had an area of resistance here as well, right? And the moment those areas get hit, that is when I try to observe what price does, right? That is where I then pay attention. And what it does is just like the trades that I took in those places. So if you go back to the video or the streams Saturday the 10th and Sunday, I had a target box here, right? And price moved up, hit the box, probabilities were higher to continue the weekend range, in other words, right? And the moment then you see local signs of weakness, your Elliott wave scenario is aligned with seeing that resistance, seeing the weakness, invalidation is taking the high, and then you just ride the wave down to wherever it goes. And then, if you remember, if you go to the videos of before the 13th, we also had a support box here, actually lower, like this. We only hit it with the wick, remember? This was the daily gap low that we found support on. And then here, of course, important because this is support, so that's a TP of the short. But this is then an area of interest to look for longs again and look for signs of strength because the probabilities are higher to still take out 63. So of course you're interested, but you want to see signs of strength. And what I don't want to do is do this. That's not really something I like to do. I like to be more close. But I use my additional areas of support and resistance plus local information once we hit it to trade. At the moment, it's not that likely a WXY is finished. Yeah. Yeah. Cheers, Odin. Yeah. Von Ian Ray Tabada. Hi Koens, I always watch your videos and live streams. I learned a lot from you. I'm happy to hear that. It's an important goal of the channel, so I always love seeing messages of people learning stuff. Education is something that I really focus on. That's why also in the videos I always explain where I pull stuff from. So I'm happy to hear it, Von Ian Ray. Thanks for your message. That's really cool. Koen, when you got frustrated in the beginning of your learning of Elliott waves, did you ever think, man, I need to start over from the very beginning? I feel like I'm missing something. Yes and no. No, because by the time you reach that way, like that thought, you probably already have a understanding of what Elliott waves is, or you might already be able to recognize impulses or ABCs. It's just that some structures and some rules are just not ingrained yet, right? Like, so you'll never start over. But what I have done many times is repeat. So I love to make summaries. I did it at medical school all the time. So what I did a lot of times is, when I get a bit stuck, I go back to all my notes and the website and I go through all of it. I just read it again. It doesn't take a long time. For example, where is this the... No, that's the book. Oops. So I went back to this website and I go and read it again. While I studied Elliott waves, what I prefer to do is write everything in my own notebooks and draw everything in my notebooks and make summaries. And then I just read through it again. And it's not like starting from the beginning, but it's like just like a refreshment, right? Like you just repetition. It's the same as when I was a medical student back in the day and I studied for my tests. You have to learn a couple of chapters of a book. Those are thick books, in case you haven't seen medical books. So there's no way that my ass is going to remember everything in those chapters. So what I always did is I read all of the chapters, and while reading, I summarize. And then I make a summary, right? And then once I have the summary, I make a summary of the summary. And when I make a summary of the summary, I make again a summary of the summary of the summary. And I really take, like I make the core info. I try to pull out the core info that I need to know. And then of course I still read the others, but I try to get to the point really. And that's the same with Elliott waves. So I just make a summary, and then I make a summary again, and then I read through it. And if I don't get something, I'll just try to see, why don't I get it, right? Why is a WXY problematic? What am I not, why is it not clicking? Right? And then I just need to read it again. And then, that's why, right? So yeah, repetition, over and over and over and over. If this is wave 4 and Bitcoin, is it possible to wave 4 will continue and go down, or when once you pass all-time high, your bullish scenario is wave 5, your bearish scenario becomes a expanding flat in a wave 4. At the moment, probabilities would be higher for wave 5 because of the duration of your wave 4 versus wave 2, which is pretty much at the 1-to-1 of wave 2. So probability wise, one would look for 5, but in both cases, you want to see an impulse up. In a wave B of an expanding flat, you want to see an ABC or WXY double zigzag. So yeah, wave 5 would have higher probabilities now than a B in a flat. You thought that was last summary? Get summarized. Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing with, especially with the medical study, it's so much information, and I'm not a quick student, so I really always need to work hard to memorize stuff, especially at medical school. So I always did all my exercises, and I always learned, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in advance, and if it's many tests, then a month in advance. Like I needed the repetition. And I did the same with Elliott waves. Is I just studied it like it was medical school. So I have a routine, and I do the same with other stuff as well. I like to write. So also here, I have a notebook always, and I have a very big notebook. Literally, this one is on my desk because I use it for scribbling and writing down like business related stuff. Or if for example, I had to think about, okay, people want to buy the CVD indicator instead of getting it for free with the affiliate stuff. And then I get my papers out and I start like just ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. And then I make a summary and I think a bit more, and I want to get to the point, and eventually, okay, this is the plan. So I love to write things down. And also when I learn new things, or I do a course, or I have a business coach, right? Like I like to write down stuff that he says in my phone, and then later I come back to it. So yeah. Koens, I refer to Elliott with Frost and Prechter. What book you prefer? That one. From like an Elliott wave point of view, I only really recommend Elliott wave principle. But I've also not read any other Elliott wave book, because this is the one where that's where Elliott waves is based on. So yeah. Cheers, Timur. Reply. Okay, I'll check it out, Brown Buck. I am day trading and swing trading. I'm not a scalper. I'm a day and swing. Thunderin, happy weekend. Good to have you here, man. Thanks for the streams and all the info. Pleasure. Guys, it's been 2 hours instead of 1 hour. But I gotta go. So stuff to do. In 1 hour, we are in X wave or Y wave. Probabilities would be higher. You're in an X at the moment. So that being said, tonight will be another update. Okay. we have the weekend coming up. Now, just to make sure the expectations are right. Sunday is always altcoin stream day, and that will stay. But the weekends are a little bit more turbulent from a content perspective because we just moved to the south of France. And of course, we want to explore the area. We want to do activities. We want to live, instead of living in my office during the week. So that means that it's a bit more random with the content. Now, I will pretty much always upload a morning update. So expect at least one tonight for the evening update and Saturday morning in the morning update. But likely during the day, there's no stream. If I stream, it's probably going to be in the evening. Right? I do like to do a stream, but likely if I do one, it's the evening. If I am home, I can do one in the afternoon. But just so you know, the weekends can be a bit more random so that you don't expect, oh shit, where is this guy? So thanks for the extra hour. Yeah, cheers, Shem. So just so you know, it's weekend, live a little, right? Is a nice quote. It's actually from a movie, from the bartender in a movie. You're not where you want to be. Like basically saying you're not in the now, live a little, something like that. I don't know. But cheers, everyone. I'll be seeing you again. And if you have any questions, write them in the comments, in Discord, in Telegram, and I'll make sure to answer it as quick as I can. So I'll see you. Cheers.